Hello and welcome back to Transfer Review, where we put silly season under the microscope. I've got a treat for you guys. It's Henry Hill. He's back from his holiday. Well, he's still on his holiday, but you're working. What's going on, Henry? Where are you?
You know what? I'm in the Channel Islands and I've taken a week off and I've come back and I feel like everything's going on in the world of transfers. There's nothing better to get you more excited for the next season than some blockbuster transfers. You know, that Grealish move, British record, following up by this unreal Messi move to PSG. I can't quite get my head around it. Watching all the videos is so surreal. But yeah, what a way to get enthused about the football again. But I'm on the coast, so if any seagulls sort of make their way into the audio, I apologise in advance. But yes, having a lovely time, and it's good to be back here with you, Dougie.
Oh, good. I'm praying that a seagull takes a poop on your head at some stage during this. But we'll see whether that is possible. But yeah, I agree with you, to be honest. These transfers have got me right in the mood for the new season. I was feeling quite tired after the Euros, looking forward to a little bit of a break. But there's nothing like, as you say, some mega money moves to get you excited. So today, as usual, we're going to break down one transfer we like and one transfer we don't like. And one transfer we like, we're a little bit unsure about, to be honest. It's not a strong like. It's Corentino Tolisso possibly joining a Premier League club. What's going on with this one, Ori?
Yeah, this is an interesting one, isn't it? I quite like this one, but according to Bild, Bayern Munich, following the €44 million arrival of Dio Upamecano, they now need to sell before they can buy. And they want Marcel Sabitzer from RB Leipzig for €18 million. And it looks like they're prepared to sell Corentino Tolisso in order to make that happen. I mean, I quite like that as an exchange. I think it's a bit of a dull move for Sabitzer to go to Bayern Munich. He's been one of the most sort of, consistent central midfielders. They're absolute wizard of a delivery. I'd love to see him and sort of Lewandowski link up. But yeah, boring that. But on the other hand, Tolisso could be an interesting proposition. The former Lyon midfielder signed for €41.5 million in June 2017, which at the time was a Bundesliga and Bayern record. How times have changed. But after making 40 appearances in his first season, he's had pretty miserable luck with injury. He's ruptured his cruciate in September 2018 at the start of his second season. He missed 33 games. He's missed at least 13 games in each of the subsequent two seasons since, and he's currently sidelined with COVID.
Poor guy.
Poor guy indeed. Dougie, you know a thing or two about that.
Oh, yeah.
And this means he's played under 1,500 league minutes in his last three seasons combined. I saw glimpses of him last season, and I did think that he was sort of going back to his best. He's quite a dynamic player. Bill claimed that Juventus, West Ham, Arsenal and Manchester United are all interested in the 28-capped Frenchman, and this is backed up by L'Equipe, claim that De Rotten are so eager to sell they'd accept as little as €10 million for their former signing. For €10 million, okay, he's got a bit of a dodgy injury record, but that is an absolute steal. Dougie, do you think he would be worth, taking that little cut price deal for?
I think so. I mean, I think before we get into like his stats and his injury record, I mean, it's important to acknowledge that Tolisso is a really talented player. I mean, he made 5 appearances at the 2018 World Cup. He's been in and around Deschamps' France squad whenever he's been available, really. In his final year at Lyon in 2016-17. I mean, have a listen to this. 8 goals and 5 assists in 31 league games, 2.7 tackles and interceptions, over 2 shots a game, nearly 2 key passes as well. He's always been a very solid passer on the ball, over 87% completion rate since he's been in Bavaria as well. But it's almost impossible to judge him given his current condition. I mean, he only played 778 league minutes last term, never featured in more than 4 league games in a row, and only played 152 minutes from the end of January due to a tendon issue. And those issues seem to have affected his form slightly. I think his tackle success rate dropped by 20% last season. He only completed 1/3 of his dribbles compared to 75% in 2017-18. But for €10 million on a short-term deal, maybe if you could get him on a sort of pay-as-you-play basis, there's clearly a talented player in there. And at 27, he's probably got 5 or 6 more years at the top. Whether his form is permanently affected by these knee injuries and other issues, we don't quite know yet. But surely he'd be worth taking a risk on for a team like, maybe not Arsenal, but maybe West Ham. I only say maybe not Arsenal because obviously they've signed Lokonga recently. He's really impressed during pre-season. They're going to sign Xhaka down to a new deal. And it feels like they've got more pressing issues in their squad in terms of an attacking midfielder, a right back, probably another striker if they manage to offload Lacazette and Nketiah as well. West Ham on the other side, probably worth a gamble. I think they could do with that sort of Tolisso-like sort of a bit more quality in their central midfield. Rice and Souček are a phenomenal pairing, but it's not necessarily the most dynamic or silky. It fits David Moyes' style of play quite effectively. In terms of Man United, I don't think he's the right type of midfielder for them at all. He's never averaged over 2.2 tackles per 90 across his entire career. Man United, as we keep on talking about, need that out-and-out defensive midfielder. Wilfred Ndidi would probably be my pick in world football right now. So Tolisso is a little bit of a weird one, but if they could get the right terms on that €10 million deal, I think this is quite an exciting one personally. So personally, I'm not too far against this if it's for West Ham, but Man United I'm not so sure about. I mean, Henry, do you agree with me? Arsenal and Man United, probably not the right fit?
Yes and no. I can see more Arsenal certainly than Manchester United. I think West Ham would be right, but I do think a Europa League club out there should be looking at him as well. I mean, across the whole of Spain...
Well, Hammers have got Europa League, to be fair.
That is true. They are in the Europa League, but I mean, that could be more of a flash in the pan kind of moment, quite frankly. I think he's more of like a consistent top five. I'd like to see him go to somewhere like Napoli or something like that. Because I like I said, I think 10 million is an absolute steal for him, and he is an exceptional player when fit. And I think the bulk of his injury problems are over, and I do think that we're going to see a much stronger player coming through from this process. So yeah, I'm excited to see where he goes, and yeah, I'm quite surprised to see Bayern, normally quite astute in the transfer market, willing to make such a heavy loss on their player.
Absolutely, it's a cataclysmic transfer from their point of view. But Bayern fans, would you be happy to just see him out the door after all these injury issues over the last few years? Let us know in the comments down below, and let's move on to the transfer we don't like.
All right, for the transfer we don't like, it is... people think we're biased against Barcelona on this channel sometimes, but absolutely not. But this is the story that's broken, that Aguero wants to leave Catalonia already. He hasn't even kicked a ball properly at the club. Dougie, tell us what on earth is going on with Sergio Aguero and Barcelona.
Yeah.
The latest drama.
Exactly, it's just a never-ending spiel. I think Barcelona, we're going to be talking about them for weeks on this channel. This is the tip of the iceberg in terms of Messi's departure. But yeah, Aguero's free transfer to Barcelona is turning into a bit of a nightmare. He only arrived for pre-season last week after playing at the Copa America and is yet to put on a Barcelona shirt for any game. He then picked up a calf injury in training on Sunday, which is going to keep him out for 10 weeks. After attending a farewell party for Messi the previous night. I mean, he didn't get injured because of that party, but it just gives you some idea to, how bad his weekend was. Dermot Corrigan, the Athletics La Liga correspondent, said, whether Aguero ever plays for Barcelona now looks very unlikely. A source told him, it does not make sense for Aguero to be there. He was a good tactical signing if Messi was going to stay. Now he looks to be in a strange situation. And he is injured. He's going to feel very lonely in the locker room right now. I think that goes without saying, to be honest. I think all the Barcelona players must be going through a hell of a lot right now. They've lost their talisman, their captain, quite clearly their best player. But it must be incredibly difficult for Aguero, having joined, wanting to play with his best friend. But even if he is registered by the end of the window and before the September the 2nd deadline for the Champions League, it's now clear that Aguero wants to leave whether he's registered or not. At his unveiling, he obviously made it perfectly clear that he wanted to play with Messi, saying, of course I hope to play with Lionel. It is a pride to play with him. I think that's just a mistranslation, probably just a joy to play with him. But Henry, in terms of a real practical sense, even if Aguero wanted to be out of Barcelona, could it actually happen in actuality?
Could be a bit of a minefield, but there might be appetite on both parties to make it happen. But anyway, we'll go through sort of what we know so far. So according to Diario AS, Aguero has instructed his lawyers to seek an exit from Barcelona as he feels like he's been lied to by Laporta, and as you said, been promised the opportunity to play with Messi. And it looks like they're exploring some legal loopholes to see if it'd be possible for him to leave. It looks like it's going to be very difficult. Like all sort of Barcelona signings, he has a ridiculous sort of release clause in his contract, 100 million euros, and he's got a 2-year deal at the Camp Nou. And, cancelling his contract would probably still mean losing money overall once you factor in the signing on fee. And they've already paid to him and sort of various other aspects of the negotiations there. And surely, I know it's the easiest thing to say, it would make more sense to shift the likes of Pjanic, Braithwaite, and Elias Maurico, which might be a bit more of a realistic sale considering Pjanic and Braithwaite, no one's going to really touch them with the kind of wages they're on. But yeah, if it comes to it, it might be they might have to look at whether or not they would cancel the Aguero contract. Apparently, he has an injury clause inserted into his deal, which allows Barcelona to sort of end it early if necessary. So it's not a great start, as you said, potentially out for 10 weeks. And it continues a really difficult period for Aguero, doesn't it? He's missed 17 games with a variety of injuries last season. And the 33-year-old could only play 20 games in all competitions. He scored 6 goals with his first goal coming against Fulham late on in the season. I remember he missed a penalty at one point when he really had his big moment to score. But he did sort of finish on that incredible high, didn't he? To break the record there. But yeah, really tricky for Aguero. I feel desperately sorry for him. This is clearly not the kind of situation he thought he was going to be walking into. If he did become a free agent again, I still think there would be a lot of clubs interested. But knowing Barcelona, what is the likelihood in your mind of him actually being able to get out of the club?
Yeah, I think it's just a pipe dream, to be honest, for Aguero. I mean, unless it gets to, a few more weeks down the line and they still need to cut that wage bill, then maybe there'll be something that they can do there. I mean, they, all their profits from transfers, it's quite interesting. Only 25% can be put towards signing new players or towards their salary cap. 75% of the money they make from transfers has to go towards fixing their long-term liabilities. So even if they got rid of Aguero, it's not really saving the whole situation. They need a to be honest, a mass sale to make any way of getting underneath this salary cap and registering the new players. And the likes of Depay as well, his situation seems a little bit uncertain. Obviously, they won't want to get rid of him. He's played so well in pre-season, but will he want to stick around if he can't be registered? It's complete turmoil, and I just feel so sorry for Barcelona fans who have just watched their icon leave the club and their club sort of destroyed by a really poor hierarchy prior to this current president. And even Juan Laporta as well. I think he should have come clean a bit earlier, saying that they couldn't keep hold of Messi. He's left it far too late. Surely they realise, you've got this instructions from the league you're based in. Surely they knew the financial controls and the things they had to meet amongst the league, instead of waiting till mid-August, losing your best player, and then this complete carnage we've got around us. So I feel sorry for Barcelona fans. I think it's only going to get worse before it gets better. But for the rest of Europe, if you want to go shopping at Barcelona and PSG right now, because they want to get rid of a hell of a lot of players. So I'm sure we'll be covering them on previous transfer reviews. But guys, on future transfer reviews, rather. But guys, that's all we've got time for this week's episode. Henry, if they've enjoyed this, what should they go and watch now?
We've got a list all coming out on 10 transfers that don't make sense. And then the podcast this week, I was joined by Will Brazier and we did a good championship preview. So if any of you are a fan of the second tier of English football, where all the action's happening to, then go check that out. It was a really fun episode to record.
Perfect. Enjoy that. Yeah, Will Brazier's always good value. And Henry on the championship, well, he's got to get used to it. Anyway, guys, we'll catch you next time. See ya.